Happy Tuesday here from the Scarlet Faithful as we talk about Rutgers men's basketball. Just a couple days now from when the Scarlet Knights host St. John's at Jersey Mike's Arena on Thursday, October 17th. 6:30 p.m. tip. All proceeds go to the Jimmy V Foundation, obviously near and dear to all Rutgers fans' hearts. Jim Valvano. Game airs at 6:30 live on BTN. I'll have a full preview coming out on Wednesday. Today, wanted to talk about pretty much just how crazy the preseason expectations are from a analytical standpoint, from a national media standpoint, not even discussing fans and our fan base and kind of social media and all that, but just in terms of Rutgers being ranked now for just the third time in program history in the preseason AP poll. Came out on Monday, ranked number 25. They're also ranked in the ESPN top 25 if you care about that. But, it's significant. I don't put a lot of stock into the media poll, the coaches poll, but from a hype standpoint, from this program getting put on the national stage, it's certainly fun. And at the end of the day, it doesn't mean a thing. However, it does help in terms of marketing this program. And they have a real chance now with the way the schedule lines up the first 2.5 weeks that when they go to Vegas, they're going to, if all goes well, right, and knock on wood, they could be ranked around 15th in the country playing two top 5 teams in Houston and Alabama. So that could be really exciting. Again, regardless of what the EP rankings is, I mean, everyone has Alabama and Houston ranked super high. They're pretty much in everyone's top 5, whether it's analytics or media. And that's going to do wonders for the strength of schedule. And you're basically going to be playing the top projected team in the Big 12 and the top projected team in the SEC. So huge test for Rutgers, but it all starts on Thursday with an exhibition against St. John's. But wanted to talk about all the rankings are out there and pretty much how wide open everything is. Rutgers ranked number 25 in the AP poll. ESPN, as I said. Now, the ESPN BPI, which is Basketball Power Index, what's notable about that, which is not out yet, that is an analytical tool that is utilized by the NCAA Tournament Selection Committee, as is KenPom, which came out also on Monday. I think he dropped it like midnight Sunday night. They're number 63. Now, both of those are utilized by the NCAA Tournament Selection Committee. And what's fascinating is that for the first time, they will also be utilizing Bart Torvik, which I've talked about a lot this offseason. And Rutgers is ranked number 19 there. So huge swing. A couple other analytical sites I like to look at that are very good. Evan Maya, Rutgers, he has number 72. Hasametrics, which is another really good one. Eric has him at number 72 as well. So why the great discrepancy, right? In terms of KenPom specifically, he relies heavily on the previous season's data. So that obviously is a big key in why they're number 63. Doesn't put a lot of weight into true freshmen, right? Doesn't project it, uses data. So in terms of Rutgers with the new players, Zach Martini and PJ Hayes were super efficient in KenPom last year. They're right in top 100 as individual players, but their usage rates were not super high. Where Tyson Acuff and Jordan Durkak were super high usage players with low efficiency rates. So that's part of it as well. One thing you'll see with all these analytical sites is I think they're all have, based on past history, Rutgers is super high from a defensive efficiency standpoint. They're pretty much top 20 in every analytical site. That would be fantastic if Rutgers can be that, but I don't know if they will. This is going to be a different type of team. And then they're rated really low offensively. So I think they're being overrated on the defensive end from an analytical standpoint and underrated from the offensive end in terms of that. So, again, the difference with Torvik, why is Rutgers 19th and all the other analytical sites are in the 60s and 70s? Because Torvik projects production of the top 10 contributors, and he projects Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper, which kind of, I would say, not conservative, but realistic, with the potential for the production to actually be even more than he's projecting, to combine for 32 points. So they could be more productive from that. I think it's very possible they could be. So that is a big part of it. So he has Rutgers as the third highest rated Big Ten team. KenPom, Evan Maya, Hasametrics, they're 17th. So huge swing there. What's interesting about all four, though, the consistency, is that they have the entire Big Ten ranked pretty high from a 1 through 18 perspective. Torvik has all 18 Big Ten teams in his top 74. KenPom, all 18 Big Ten teams are in the top 75. Hasam and Maya. Hasam has them in the top 79, and Maya has all Big Ten teams in the top 86. That is a very competitive, wide open league on paper. Purdue is a presumptive favorite. Indiana's got a ton of talent. Illinois is always going to be really good under Brad Underwood. They brought in a lot of young talent too, but they don't get, kind of nicked the same way Rutgers does, perception-wise by some. But it's going to be wide open. And nobody knows about how to figure out Rutgers yet. And that's fair. And, listen, I'm super high on them. I've seen them practice twice. But nobody can look you in the eye, and I'd be lying if I said so. Nobody knows how they're going to react with the game on the line. 2 minutes to go. Tight game, top competition. And this team's going to have to learn to win with what they are, right? And that might take a little bit. Basketball is different than college football. We're all mourning, right, the last 2 weeks of college football. And, it's just a different mentality in terms of there's only 12 games and every game is weighted so much in terms of impact. Not to say that any college basketball game isn't important, but you have a body of work that's about 3 times as much. So you have good basketball teams that can lose 10 times in a regular season, 11, 12. Teams make the NCAA tournament with that many losses. And college basketball is so much momentum based that you could have, a so-so regular season, but have good enough numbers to get in the NCAA tournament and make a memorable March run. So this team's going to be, I hope it's not a roller coaster, but this team's going to have to face real adversity. And how do they respond? Obviously, the talent level, Ace and Dylan, off the charts. I love how they're surrounded by veteran guys that have been productive in their careers, that have played for good teams. Obviously, Zach Martini. You have, in terms of Jordan Durkak playing for a conference winner. You have PJ Hayes, played for a really good D2 team. San Diego was a middle-of-the-pack competitive West Coast Conference team, very underrated league. Tyson Acuff obviously played for Eastern Michigan, not a good team, but was their best player. Played with 2 pros the year before that, with Amani Bates, Farrakhan. So there's a very interesting dynamic in terms of the mix of players on this team. And they've had a lot of time now in the summer, this preseason, and it's going to be just fascinating to let them have an opportunity now on Thursday against a very talented St. John's team, who, by the way, is right on the outside of the top 25. But KenPom was rated much higher in terms of what that's going to be. And I'm going to get into that matchup soon with a preview. There's a lot of things I want to get into in terms of that matchup and things to watch for and things maybe that we could take away from that game, because I'll do a recap as well. But, this thing's wide open and there's a lot of questions, right? How efficient can Ace and Dylan be? Not just what they average per game, but how efficient can they be? How will the offense flow through them? How efficient can Rutgers be from 3-point range? They have to, as a team, be a competent 3-point shooting team for them to be the team we think they can be. The role players adjusting. right? Acuff and Durkak, high usage guys that are going to play roles off the bench, most likely. How are they going to react to that? How are they going to be able to impact the game coming off the bench? It's a different mentality. Jermichael Davis is kind of a X factor in terms of what he's going to bring. Obviously, the 5-man production. I did a whole episode last week on that, but Lathan Somerville, Emmanuel Igbole, Zach Martini, how Peichel handles lineups, rotations, manages minutes. That's one thing I think that's going to be a developing situation as well. So there's going to be a lot of buttons to press. There's going to be a lot of management. There's things that Peichel and the program are dealing with in terms of, being on the national stage now, having Ace and Dylan, all the attention that comes with that, all the extra kind of management pieces, right? I mean, these guys have teams already around them, because they're projected lottery picks. So there's a lot that goes into it. And I can't believe the season's just 3 weeks away now. Rutgers opening up on Wednesday, November the 6th at the Rack against Wagner. But I think what's exciting about all this is that, it's not about getting hopes up. I always talk about, enjoying the journey. Well, let's enjoy the fact that Rutgers is in the top 25 for just the third time ever in the preseason, second time under Peichel. And this is going to be fun. It's going to be scary. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be everything, right? And where it ends, we have no idea. But I really believe this team has the potential to certainly outperform a lot of these analytical projections, which again are based a lot heavily in the early going on past data, right? And nobody really, I mean, having the number 2 and number 3 recruits on the same team, the data does point positively, and credit to Mike Broadbent in the night report. He's gone into this in terms of team success rate, in terms of making the NCAA tournament, and also progressing in the NCAA tournament. When you have 2 top recruits, typically teams, not only make the NCAA tournament, but they win at least one game. So that is a positive, of course. But I think in terms of having 2 top freshmen at a program that doesn't have the deep history that some of these blue bloods have, there's some trepidation from national media, what have you. So we'll see what happens. I think Andy Katz has Rutgers ranked pretty high too. Not that I think he's, with all due respect, the best in terms of this stuff, but I love that he is so pro Rutgers as a BTN analyst. But he has Rutgers in the top 20 as well. There'll be plenty more that come out. Remember, Rutgers was a preseason poll for the Big Ten, preseason rated number 7th in the conference. I had a whole nother episode on that. I mean, Blue Ribbon had him 15th. I forget who had them 11th. Someone else had them 9th. You go back and listen to that. But it's all over the place. No one knows how this team's going to respond when the bright lights are on. We'll get the first taste of it on Thursday. I'll have a full preview on Wednesday for that game. College hoops is coming. Rutgers basketball, high expectations. Can't wait to go through the journey with you. And thank you so much for listening and watching once again here at the Scarlet Faithful podcast.